for somebody who claims to be semi-retired, I seem to have spent an awful lot of hours in front of the computer for the last few weeks. I am feeling a little overwhelmed. If that feeling turns into burnout, I know there are a few things that really help me get back in balance. That's some mindful making and being out in nature. So in this week's video, we're just going to see how the spirit moves me, as my grandmother would have said. And I want to do some spinning without an end project in mind and just enjoy the countryside in October. So we're in the woods, and I do sometimes find edible fungi in this woodland. So I have my knife and my makeshift mushroom bag, which is in fact a hat. It works pretty well though. Anyway, let's see what we can find. So eyes down for a full house, and I do know the spots here because I've been coming here many years now, and there are a few likely spots around here, so I'm gonna go quite slowly and try and get my eye in. Well, that's an earth ball, not edible. I mean, actually really don't eat that. However, it is a good sign because where there are earth balls, you quite often find things that are edible. Oh, thanks dog. So I've just spotted something, and where there's one, there's normally a good few. Now, do you know what that is? That is a pierre de mouton. So I've got a lovely hat full of the pierre de mouton. I'm gonna go home, and that, I think, is going to be brunch. I'm gonna have poached eggs, some nice sourdough toast, and then just fried in butter, a little bit of salt and pepper, those pierre de mouton. Oh, wonderful. Now that really is relaxing, isn't it? And yeah, I'm gonna really enjoy cooking that, and I'm gonna really enjoy eating it. Okay, time to go home. So I was just walking back and I found an oak gall, quite often called an oak apple. And you can see why they're called that, because it does look very apple-like. Now this one is going to have to go back on the ground because the little creature whose nest it is, or hatchery it is still in there. So that's going to go back on the ground, and I sort of going to put it in an area where I can remember where it is, and then in a few weeks' time I'm going to come back and pick that up when it has a little hole in it and the little creature has come out. And there's another one, or two actually, they're teeny tiny. So oak galls used to be used to, amongst other things, make ink, and there are still quite a few people that do collect them for that purpose. And I think in my last video, yes, it must have been in my last video, I was saying I've been collecting them for some time, so I eventually will have enough to do a little experiment and see if I can get some ink out of them. Just look at these little beauties. I'm not quite sure what they are. I mean, a wax cap of some description. I'm gonna have to look it up. Oh, they're so pretty. What a wonderful colour. Now I think these are called pheasant berries. I could be wrong about that. As I remember, they come from the Himalayas, and a lot of things that come from the Himalayas grow very well in Wales. I think there is a similarity in some of the environment. But, I have heard people using them in dyes. I might have to have an experiment. I mean, they're not all ripe yet. I don't know. If you've ever used them for a dye, let me know how successful it was. So my week of recharging my batteries is going really well. Had a lovely bit of brunch with those mushrooms. We've been for a swim, which is probably why my hair looks a bit mad. I mean, madder than normal. And yeah, now we're just enjoying an afternoon down by the beach, or on the beach in my case, before heading back. And then tomorrow, I want to just spin for the joy of spinning rather than spinning because I have a project in mind. So this is a very quick sort of hello and goodbye really, and I will see you when I'm at the spinning wheel. Or maybe, no, I will see you when I've got the stash out. Well, here we are back in the slightly echoey conservatory, And before I get the fibre stash out, there was just a couple of things I wanted to mention. If you are interested in identifying fungi, then the best book, if you are UK based, is the Roger Phillips mushroom book. And I will leave a link for that below. And it has just fabulous photographs. I mean, there really is no substitute for actually seeing things in the field with someone who knows how to identify fungi. But the kind of the second best thing is a really good reference book, and I would say this is the gold standard, really. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you was, it's down here, what an oak gall looks like when it's got its little hole in it and the little creature has hatched out. So I'm going to kind of photograph that a little bit more closely and just drop it in so you can see what it actually looks like when it's okay to pick up, because those green ones, you really want to leave them on the woodland floor for the little creature to finish its life cycle, hatch out, and then kind of fly off into the oak tree, because that's basically their whole life cycle is based around the oak tree. So the next thing I really want to do to help me kind of regain my equilibrium is a little bit of mindful making. And in my case, it means mindful spinning. And I don't mean mindless spinning. I actually want to think about the process, but it's the process that is the end product rather than I want to make a specific yarn of a specific weight or a specific gauge and it's for a project. Just the process is the end project, if you like. And I have my enormous box of fibre, and I have told myself I'm not buying anything else until I've kind of got this a little bit more under control. I also have some of my favourite little things to add. So that's some recycled sari silk, and in there is just some regular silk. Oh, there's a bit more recycled sari silk in there. So I'm going to just go through these different fibres and just kind of choose things that make me joyful. So some colours, some textures, and some fibres that really sing to me today. I'm just going to tip this out and then just pull out things that I want to work with. All sorts of funny things in here. Right, so what's going to happen is the things I don't want to spin are going to go back in the box, which is on the ground. Now, I love this colour. So that, yeah, I really like that. So I think that's a possibility. Oh, now this was the woad dyed wool, or what's left of it. So I like that. I want to use that. This is very random. There's all sorts of random things here. Now, this is lovely, Romney Shetland, and this is from the Woven Briar. But I don't think I want to spin this. It's lovely, but I think I want a specific project for that. So that is going in back in the big box. Random experiments. Oh, now I like these colours. I feel a bit of a blue theme coming on. I mean, this will be from, it's very tatty. So this is definitely from a mill end or a lap waist kind of thing bag. So I'm going to keep that. Red, no. Nice, but no. Oh, now this is nice. This is from the Woven Briar again. Yep, I like this. Kind of greys and blues. Yeah, oh, that's lovely. I think I'm going to keep that out. Oh, yes, lots of random experiments here. No. Yeah, loads and loads of dye experiments. All good, but not really. Do I want a bit of green? I quite like that green. Yeah, I'm going to put some of that in. Oh, yeah, bit of that. I like that. So that's definitely going to stay. Whoopsie. Oh, look at that lovely silk. Yeah, a bit of that. What else have we got? Now this is more of the woad dyed, but this is the woad and yeast, which is quite a different colour from the woad with the chemical that I can't remember the name of, but I'll put it on screen. And yeah, I'm going to have a bit of that. Not that much, just a bit of that, I think. So just a bit of that. Oh, it's all very compressed in here because it's all been shoved in. Okay, so I'm starting to whittle it down. Oh yes. So that is some Gotland that ended up in the woad. A bit of a theme going through here. I think we're going to have sort of woads. Oh, and this is the wild plum. I like the colour, but I don't think today. Right, the rest of it can all go back. And let's have a look what we've got. So that green. So greens and blues and greys and turquoises. I'm not sure about that. I might swap that for something else. No. It's a bit of, there you go. Have a bit of sari silk. Love a bit of sari silk. Okay, I think that's it. I think those are the fibres I want to play with. So I'm going to get the blending board out. So I have my very favourite tool, my blending board, and I'm just going to blend some fibre and see what happens. Some of this stuff that's been dyed in the woad is a bit compacted, so it's going to take a bit of just pulling apart. But I have this kind of notion that this is going to be quite a sort of turquoise looking yarn, but I just love these types of colours. So this is my joyful yarn. I'm going to be very Mary Kondo and say sparking joy. But just, I'm not putting any pressure on myself to create anything magical, but just enjoying the process. Let's have a little bit of this Gotland. I need my combs for this. Right, I'm going to go and get my combs and just pull this apart a bit. So these are not wool combs, these are honey uncapping combs. So if you've seen me working with long wools before, this is what I've ended up using. I have actually bought myself some proper wool combs, which I will show you when they arrive. They are at the moment somewhere in the north of England being transported to me, hopefully. I think they're in stock. Well, the website said they were in stock, but that doesn't always mean it's true. Right, okay, so just kind of tease this out a little bit. So I have been thinking a lot about woad, as I do, and wondering how on earth woad farmers made a living, because I started some woad seeds and they germinated and I potted them up, and then they got absolutely decimated by flea beetle. I mean, they are kind of part of the mustard family, so it's not really surprising. I was like, oh my goodness. They are now recovering and the leaves are coming back. So what did woad farmers do? I mean, how did they stop their entire crop being decimated by flea beetles? I mean, these days we'd just spray for it. But obviously insecticides were not around when woad was being used in this country sort of industrially. So yeah, I don't know. I am again agog at our ancestors, because they must have known something that we don't. I think we've forgotten something somewhere. So until quite recently, the last commercial woad farm in the UK closed in the 1930s. And I just, yeah. I mean, really, we didn't have wide-scale use of insecticides until after the Second World War. So in the 1930s, I dread to think what they were using to kind of keep their crop from being totally destroyed. Well, I'm absolutely loving these colours. This is making me very happy. It's kind of like a Pembrokeshire seascape, it feels like. Let's have a little bit of that silk. Oh no, let's have a bit of the sari silk. I always like a bit of sari silk, bit of texture. And just it, you know, a bit of interest. So I think I'm going to make a 2-ply. I'm not going to worry about the singles being the same. They're just going to be kind of as it comes out. Oh, let's have a little bit of this green, which I think was dyed with the flowers of the reeds that we get growing down on the kind of salt marshes. And I forget the name. I did know it once. I knew a lot of things once. My brain appears to have completely melted in middle age. Ooh, that's looking so lovely. Right, bit more of this. Well, I'm going to come back to you when I have finished all this. Otherwise, this video will end up being about 2 hours long. And I know you say you like long videos, but I think 2 hours, probably too long. What wondrous colours. Oh, this makes me so happy. It really does. Oh, they're so cute. They're so lovely. And there are my lovely little rolags. And they're looking a little bluer on the camera than they are actually in real life. They're quite sort of sea green. Absolutely loved making those. And it was quite meditative, you know, just got into a rhythm of it, just choosing the colours as they came to me. Right, let's get the spinning wheel out. The wheel is set up and I have my rolags, and I'm just going to change the camera angle and start spinning. So because I'm just spinning for fun, I'm probably just going to spin a short forward draw, which is kind of my default spin really. And just going to establish a nice rhythm. And I'm spinning on my slightly smaller whirl. And just going to spin a bit, and I'll do a plyback test. And because I'm not thinking about what I'm going to make with this yarn, I'm just gonna relax and enjoy the process and just kind of meditate with that sound of the wheel, and just try to slow my treadling down and just kind of slow the mind. But I am going to do a plyback test and just see. Yep, that's pretty good. I'm going to tighten it up slightly, but only very slightly. And just take my hands a long way from the orifice. Quite often when I spin on YouTube, my hand is quite close to the orifice because I'm trying to get my hands in shot so that you can see what my hands are doing while I'm spinning. But because this essentially is for me rather than for YouTube, or, well, I mean, I suppose it is for YouTube, but you're actually not going to see me spin it all because I'm going to turn the camera off in a minute. I'm just trying to be a little more relaxed and in my natural spinning position, which is with my hands a lot further from the orifice than they often are on YouTube. And I'm really loving the colours as they're coming through. They're looking so pretty. And I'm really glad I added that lamb's wool from the Woven Briar. I will leave a link to her website. And I was going to say, does she have a website or is it just Instagram? No, she has a website. So I will leave the link to her website. If you are unaware of the Woven Briar, she is a shepherdess based in Exmoor in Somerset, which is in England, and she has a very particular management of her flock, and she blade shears rather than clipper shears, and she produces the most wondrous fibre for hand spinners. She also teaches hand spinning and weaves, and I think is in the process of building an eco house. I seem to remember I saw that somewhere on Instagram, I think. And I think I'm going to just put the camera on to do a time lapse so that you can see how pretty this looks as it builds up on the bobbin. So I've just finished the second single. I'm going to let those rest, and I've come for a little walk down at Lower Town. Millie loves it here at low water, so we're just going to kind of splosh about in the shallows and have a lovely time. And then tomorrow I will ply, but by the magic of editing I will drop in a picture of what the yarn looks like plied. And then at the end of the video I'll let you see what it looks like knitted up. So I'm going to carry on with my walk, and I will see you back in the echoey conservatory when I have my knitted up little sample.